12 O'Clock Boys is a new documentary following a group of illegal dirt bike riders on the streets of Baltimore. The film explores the riders' relationship with the community, the police, and zeroes in on 13-year-old Pug as we watch him grow up in the city and dreams of becoming a 12 o'clock boy. Let's take a look at the trailer.
I've been on this earth for a decade and a couple years. So what that makes me, I'm a grown-ass man.
Baltimore City Sunday. Fuck City Council, fuck the police, any of them that tries to stop us. This is our shit.
Fucking bird watching us now.
Joining me on set, director Lofty Nathan and the star of the documentary, Pug. Hey guys.
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
So let's give the audience the basics a little bit. Let's talk about what a 12 O'Clock Boy is and how you got involved with the 12 O'Clock Boys. What interested you in them?
So the 12 O'Clock Boys are a renegade dirt bike group. They converge from all different parts of inner city Baltimore, riding on off-road dirt bikes, up to 100, 150 bikes at a time.
Wow.
They, running red lights, dodging traffic. It's an issue between the police and the riders. I saw them while I was attending school in Baltimore. I had seen them sort of on the periphery and didn't really know what they were about at first, but I found them really receptive to being filmed, so that kind of grew from there.
And now there's a little bit of misunderstanding about what the 12 O'Clock Boys are. I think some people think that they're a gang when in actuality they're not really a gang, right?
Well, I think it's a matter of context. So, technically they are a gang. It's a group engaging in illegal activity. But
fair enough.
In the context of Baltimore, I think you'd be hard pressed to really call them a gang when there are real gangs and a lot of violence out of those gangs.
Now, Pug, you're 13 years old when this documentary is being made, following you around. How old were you when you realized that you wanted to be a 12 O'Clock Boy?
When I was like 13. Yeah, when I was 13. When I was younger, growing up, I always seen the bikes come through. Me and my friends always told each other, we gonna be them. We gonna be the 12 O'Clock Boys. We gonna ride when we get older.
What was it about the 12 O'Clock Boys that made you want to join, that made you want to ride like that?
Because when they on the bikes popping wheelies and stuff, like, I was amazed. It was amazing. Like, it was, let me see.
It was incredible. The stunts that they pulled were incredible, yeah. Like,
they coming through, wheeling, one hand, standing on the seat. Like, it's amazing for you to see that. Like, some people can't ride dirt bikes. Some people can ride dirt bikes. Some people can't wheelie dirt bikes, but some people can wheelie dirt bikes. So, like, everybody got their own style with wheeling and riding bikes.
What's your style?
I can ride and wheelie bikes, so. Hey.
When you were 13 and Lofty found you and started shooting you, what were you thinking when he was following you around with a camera? How long did it take for you to feel comfortable with him around?
Took like a good couple months because I wasn't used to cameras at first. Like, just a camera in your face every day. Like, started getting annoying that for a while, but then I got used to it.
When did you know that you could trust him?
Like, several months after we started filming.
How long were you filming him?
Let's see, from April of 2010 right up until early 2013.
Now, you've talked about the nature of street riding as it is dangerous and it is like a lesser of two evils at times. But how do you respond when people talk about this? Because the film is very lyrical and shows a really beautiful side of riding.
Yeah, the person's totally right. It's dangerous. I mean, that's essentially, of course, that's true.
But lots of things are dangerous. Football is dangerous,
Right, basketball is dangerous.
But this also puts other people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
Civilians, people who don't want to necessarily have anything to do with this expression. So I understand. But it is, and I'm not trying to present it as one way or another. Although it is through Pug's perspective. That's a device in the film. It's supposed to be. There's supposed to be a statement in that. That it's through Pug's eyes, and you see how romantic it feels for him. You know, it was never my point to make an issue film. You know, so it's understood that it's dangerous. You basically know what.
In no way do I think
perspective
is the film an expose on riding. I don't think it should be, and be a much
Right.
less interesting, much less beautiful film.
Right.
But there, you know, I think people a lot of times when they see movies, especially now, we saw it with Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
Go on a tangent. They want an expose. They want something editorial. They want a clear message, and I don't think that's what you were trying to do with the
Right.
film.
They want retribution for the
Yes.
bad guy, but the movies have always skirted on that line, you know, and you don't necessarily get the answer that you want. And I think in the case of a documentary, it could be very valuable to see what that kind of rebellion is born out of. You know, if you get any lesson from the frustration or what the context is, I think it can only help.
Pug, what's the worst injury that you've had while riding?
When I was willing, I tried to scrape the bike and slid down the street. That was about it.
You got busted up a little bit?
Not really.
Not really? Do you?
Oh man, I did have an injury when I knocked my whole nail off. My whole nail was gone.
That's not that bad considering the tricks that you guys are trying. Have you made it? You know, 12 o'clock is a reference to the hands on the clock, right? Getting
Right.
the hand all the way up to 12. Have you made it to 12 o'clock yet?
Yeah,
Regularly?
yeah. Well, sometimes I'm getting there.
Yeah. And have you made it? You know, 12 o'clock is a reference to the hands on the clock, right? Getting
Right.
the hand all the way up to 12. Have you made it to 12 o'clock yet?
Yeah,
Regularly?
yeah. Well, sometimes I'm getting there.
Yeah. There's that great scene in the film where you're riding around on your four-wheeler and all the girls in the neighborhood are saying that you ride around trying to look tough all the time. You're waving over at them and trying to pretend you're tough. Do you still do that?
No, I just be riding, just regular.
You don't have to pretend anymore?
Nah, cause I know I woolly now.
Yeah. What are you riding now on the street?
CR80. I'm ready to have an 85 soon though.
Really? What's your mom think about that?
She don't think nothing for real.
So Pug, what did you think the first time you saw this film?
When I first seen it, I was look like, dang, I was really that young. Like,
That was really one.
I was really that young. Like,
Yeah.
Were you embarrassed by some of the scenes?
no, not really.
No?
No.
Yeah, you're 3 years ago, you know. Wow. No major thoughts on seeing the film?
Nope. I just watched myself
What was it
grow
like
up.